So we're going to bring in the Director of Growth Marketing here at AmeriLife, Ryan Eisenhower, and he's actually joining us in studio. So why don't you come on up here, Ryan, and let's get this conversation going.
All right. Thanks for having me, David.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us today. And can you just introduce yourself and let our audience know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background really started with just learning as much marketing as I possibly could. I leveraged it in real estate. So that was a pivotal part of me driving business. So building a website, going out there, uh, deploying different marketing tactics, including SEO, and that really helped propel me out there to, not just use word of mouth, but to build my business where I had a digital presence where people could find me and contact me. So it really helped out a lot.
Yeah, and you help us out a lot all the time. We are so lucky to have you on our team, and we're lucky to have you on this webinar. And let's just jump right in. We just heard from Drew. He's had tremendous success with AEO and GEO. And the graphic that we're looking at right now on the screen here speaks to the importance of our audience starting to move in this direction. It took 7 years for the World Wide Web, the entirety of the internet, to reach 100 million users. In perspective, ChatGPT took only 2 months to reach that same amount of users. Ryan, what does that tell you?
Yeah, this is just a testimony to the transition of user behavior, right? So we've learned this through the history of time where people have moved from cell phones to smartphones. People want instant gratification, and any platform that can deliver that is going to have an advantage. So that's really where these AI models have come into play, where people are now starting to not spend as much time searching for websites. They want the information right now in front of them. And we're going to continue to see that over time. That market is going to get cannibalized where all of these AI overviews and AI models are going to start, being positioned better in terms of driving attention.
Sure. And you mentioned user behavior is changing. And as this graphic illustrates, marketers' behavior needs to be changing as well. So let's talk about some of these best practices and tactics that our audience can take home with them today. And the first things first, if you were, having a consultation with one of our agents and advisors and they have nothing started yet, they know they need to get into digital marketing this year and SEO, AEO, and GEO are a priority, where are you guiding them first?
Yeah, so I would start with just kind of looking at what does your online profile and footprint look like? Do you have a website? Have you considered putting yourself out there as a specialist in something? You may offer multiple products, but where do you really want to target and go after? And as you think about that, that's how you want to build your online presence. You want to be known for something, right? And so I would start with just a very simple pen to paper. Start writing out, like, who do you want to serve over the next 5 years? Where do they exist? How can you reach them? And then you can use that as a guiding principle to build your digital profile.
And if you're not sold on it yet, how would you explain the true benefits of showing up in those AI overviews or showing up in a recommendation from AI?
Yeah, so the AI overviews are very interesting. They're a lot different than what we would understand from SEO. So SEO is people are getting driven to websites, they're interacting on those websites, and hopefully they're taking some next step. AEO and GEO is not that. That is focused on brand awareness. So you think about commercials. If you see an advertisement over and over, you might already know where to go and how to purchase that product without having an immediate call to action. That's what AEO and GEO really is. And another way to look at it is it's like a referral, right? So we all know if you're in sales, the golden ticket is a referral. There's nothing better than that. And that is quickly what AI is replacing for people. People are trusting their AI's systems a lot more. And when they recommend you, that's as good as gold.
For sure. And when you mentioned, like, when you watch commercials, what you're doing is you're putting the audience in the consumer's shoes, but we all use these tools every day. And I too will see AI overviews. And the difference is that people are no longer searching from link to link to link on Google for the information they need. They're having conversations within these AI platforms, or they're asking entire questions to Google. And so how we formulate our content matters, correct?
Correct.
And so can you speak to that a little bit? Like
Mhm.
if I wanted to ensure that I'm starting to show up in an AI overview, what how do I need to structure that content, or what are some best practices?
Yeah, so I want to go back to what Drew mentioned earlier, talking about AI overviews. So when you think about that, you're going on Google, you're typing in some kind of query or question, and it is providing an immediate, direct response to that. So how do you leverage, getting featured in that? Really, it's when the content that you make on your website, you want to have question answer style format. So you'll have a question, you might have a quick 3 to 4 sentence response to that, and you're going to start to build that topical authority as you do more educational content on your website. So keep it concise, keep it clear, keep it as if you were having a conversation with the client, and you'll be good to go.
Fantastic. And you just said a topical authority. As 2026 continues, I think that word authority is going to become more and more prominent. Can you just quickly level set on what does it mean to be an authority figure and why does it matter?
Yeah. So when I think about authority, I think about sort of your universal profile online. So this is
Mhm.
citations, how you're referenced, how people are mentioning your name, right? So it's not just living on one platform or one website. You need to be thinking about where you're featured everywhere, and you want consistency to that. So oftentimes what happens with people is they're trying to figure out, where do I start? What do I do? They isolate themselves to one platform, and over time, they realize they're not getting as much momentum as they would like to. So think about, again, where your audience lives and start leveraging those platforms and tie them together. And you're going to have much more opportunities to be featured in these AI overviews and within the AI models themselves.
And I briefly mentioned earlier how user behavior on Google has changed because of those overviews. People are no longer, at least this is trending that way, going through all of those links to find their information. When we're in the world of ChatGPT or Copilot, what is the difference there in terms of how are these LLMs finding content and citing, and how is that different than how Google's doing it?
Yeah, so it goes back to what I was saying earlier about citations, right? So you want to make sure that you are positioning yourself in a certain manner. What are you a specialist in? Who are you serving? And you want that consistency across the board. And what you will start to discover is, as these AI models start to mention you, it's like, these are the top 5 agents in this domain. That's that referral piece we were talking about earlier. So again, you want consistency in your content, and that's going to help drive more mentions by the AI models.
And as we wrap up this conversation today, I want to go one step further when it comes to talking about authority. And that's the importance of Google reviews and testimonials and ensuring that our agents and advisors are getting those, because that is one of the quickest ways to build credibility. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up. So when I think about Google reviews, people are obviously going to be, at a certain stage, very inclined to leave you a review if you ask them and you reach them at the point of highest satisfaction. But you can go one step further when it comes to Google reviews. You can give the reviewee some guidance, like
Mm.
talk about the product, talk about the experience, talk about the specialty. If you offer that, what's going to end up happening is, as you start to collect those reviews, the AI models are going to pick up on that. So when it comes to those references we were talking about earlier, if you are the expert to, veterans, right, or whatever you're going after, it's going to tie that all together. So make sure that when you're getting those reviews, that you do offer some guidance to the people that leave them.
I love that, Ryan. And the last thing that I just want to throw into that conversation is, if you're not, get on LinkedIn, create a profile and share your expertise and knowledge there. LinkedIn is becoming a
Mhm.
heavily cited source within these LLM platforms, and Reddit. Reddit's a great place to be sharing your expertise to build your authority as well. Ryan, before we let you go, we're going to walk our audience through some of these tactics that, if they do this week, they're going to start building that momentum that we're talking about. And the first, and feel free to jump in if you want to highlight any of these, but the first one we want to talk about is, make sure that wherever you're showing up online, that you have a consistent bio everywhere: who you are, what you do, and who you help. Add an FAQ section to your most popular pages on your website. If you get frequently asked questions from your clients or prospects, answer those directly. And this week, just publish one educational article. Start there and then scale. You can also add short summaries to existing content and check your local directory and review sites. Ryan, do you have anything else to add?
I think those are great action pieces to start. Just remember, take it one step at a time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. And where can our audience find you?
You can reach us at AmeriLife. We're all part of the AmeriLife family.
And speaking of family, let's go ahead and bring Joe Barker back in here. Thank you so much, Ryan.